So my kind of principles in leadership is that every situation is different, every human is different. So we just have to, it's more on the situation and then treat people well, empower, include everybody regardless of their background. There's no matter what the age is, there's no matter about the ethnic background that you have, the nationalities, even the languages that you speak are different. I think one thing that I've learned myself as well, that I'm fluent in few languages, but then I'm not as fluent in others, and people perceive me differently if I speak those languages that I'm not as fluent. And just to understand that these are just basic human things, and start from there.
Let's learn how our next guest gets up, dress up, and show up on purpose. Enjoy the episode. Hello, morning enthusiasts. Welcome to the Best Morning Routine Ever podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lunid, and today I have the honor of introducing a very special guest to the show, Aslak Desilva. Aslak brings nearly 20 years of Hanmudu martial arts experience. Now, what he's learned from that, not only he was the world champion in 2000, but his background taught him the value of lifelong learning and coaching others. Now he is the CEO of Selfie Store. He leads the development of innovative smart vending machine using machine learning, AI, making grab and go food shopping super easy and effortless. Selfie Stores is recognized as one of the 50 most innovative companies to watch back in 2023, and serving over 100 companies and across multiple countries, especially in Europe. So I'm really excited to have him on board and just talk about his success and how he's been navigating this entrepreneurial space. So with no further ado, Aslak, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Leonid. Nice to be here.
Of course, of course. Nice to have you. Now we know a bit about your background. You were doing martial art. You gained all the discipline that is required to practice such an excellent endeavor. Now there's a transition to entrepreneurship. Tell us about your why. Tell us about why this is so dear to your heart.
Yeah, sure. I think I actually have two whys if one can have, but maybe one is that probably when we look at the business that we work with Selfie Store. So I mean that we hate queuing, so we just kind of want to kind of get rid of those. So building this kind of machines that can predict the demand in the location. So if it's a hot day, so more beverages will be sold. If it's a uh, busy lunch rush hour, so maybe more sandwiches are in need. So kind of that there are lots of different parameters in the world available of people and where we are, plus the kind of the buying, purchasing data that comes out of when we interact with some of like vending machines as we do. So just combining those so that we would never need to wait. Everything is just there where we are. So kind of that's then the passion that we at Selfie Store have. Then my personal passion at the same time is more maybe related to leadership. So I just hope so. I was born and I'm born and raised in Finland, where equality is very there. Everybody goes to the public school. There's kind of gender equality with pay, and everything is there. So for me to kind of I'm very passionate about leadership and leading people in a way that to be the leader who everybody deserves, and then spread the message that what does that mean in practice. Like we all as leaders are lifelong learners, so just want to learn myself to be a better leader, but also want to spread the message and share my learnings as well. So that is something that gets me up every morning with a smile.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I love the piece you add about for ongoing learning and growth that needs to take place as a leader, because you have people following you and you're hoping to kind of steer the ship. You got to steer the ship in the right direction, right? For lack of words. Tell us about how your leadership skills has transpired, because you've learned that through your martial art experience. But as a leader of a company right now, how do you lead your flock?
Yeah, sure. I think, of course, martial arts, like you said, has discipline and everything, but also the fighting. And then I think it's mentally tough, like in a way. So, of course, learning new stuff is not always nice, but then you have to test it in real life. So like I have about 100 full contact fights. So then you have to really go there and be vulnerable and really try out your best. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So I
Hmm.
think that is also with the leadership. What comes to is that we are still leaders as well, humans. But you will try if you try your best. So likely you get better every day. You make some mistakes, but if you really, really focus and are disciplined in training yourself to be better, so that's where the leadership starts. So my kind of principles in leadership is that every situation is different, every human is different. So we just have to, it's more on the situation and then treat people well, empower, include everybody regardless of their background. There's no matter what the age is, there's no matter about the ethnic background that you have, the nationalities, even the languages that you speak are different. I
Right.
think one thing that I've learned myself as well, that you are I'm fluent in few languages, but then I'm not as fluent in others, and people perceive me differently if I speak those languages that I'm not as fluent. And just to understand these, that these are just basic human things, and start from there. So I strongly believe that as a leader, my job is to kind of bring up the self-confidence and challenge people in a way that they could not do themselves, and that's how they grow. They will achieve things and maybe fail sometimes, but as long as it's a safe environment, so then people are happy to work with that and try to be better. So maybe that's something there. Not very clear answer, but I mean the concepts are there, right? So
I got it. Yeah, I completely understood that. It's going back to the basic of human dignity and respect, right? Allowing people to be themselves and to bring their best self forward, regardless of the background, because there's a value in the difference, in the contrast, right? Because then you have diversity, then you have different ideas where you're not in a what we call a group think situation where everybody's thinking the same, everybody's looking the same, everybody's saying the same thing, but not adding insight. So I see that value that you stated very clearly. As you were talking, I realized with you said you meet people where they're at, and depending on who they are, the situation, then leadership just kind of accommodates to that. And I picture selfie stores precisely the same, right? Because you said depending on what the weather is, what the climate is, where the people are, then the machine just kind of provide what is needed or what's on demand at the moment. So yeah, it kind of transferred to the business aspect, essentially, the product.
yeah, very good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's talk about how that's done. How's selfie store design using machine learning and AI to kind of provide that demand and smart enough to see what it needs.
Yeah, sure. We like none of our team members have actually background in vending. So we have maybe different backgrounds, like diversity there as well. But we are very intrigued about what data and how to build the data pools properly and then use this machine learning and AI to help out. So we basically manufacture fridges, freezers, and ambient models, and we sell them as empty. But we are super interested in like what's being sold. So we use this RFID technology, which is then radio signals. So each product that is in the cabinet will have this kind of a tag or a sticker that will then be coded so that the merchant or the operator who's working with our cabinets or vending machines there will tell the machine that this is this product. So there's of course a system to make it happen, and then it's very accurate. So all the time it's knowing. So for instance, when was that item put in, and you can use expire date management automation. So then discount those products that are going to expire soon. So you can actually sell fresh food as an example, salads or sandwiches. And then the machine knows that, okay, tomorrow these are going to expire. So today I put them on discount minus 30% or minus 50%. So there's no food waste. And then we try to make it for the consumer as simple as possible. So they just come there with their credit card or Apple Pay or whatever, they kind of tap it there on the floor, so contactless, and then they get to open the door. They can pick as many items they want. They can place them wherever if they don't like them, so they can keep them in their hand. And when they close the door, then the payment is automatically handled. And then this goes to the cloud, where we have the robust selfie cloud, and then all the AI built their selfie insights, which will then gather the data from more than 20 countries now in Europe, and then see that, okay, maybe the situation was that you were in a hotel and it was raining, you brought an umbrella, so that's a useful information. Or it was on a hot day, somebody bought beverages even more than normally. So then this data is then combined, and then these kind of recommendations start to happen then to our merchants, that I mean, a great example is that when you have concerts around it, so what will happen to the demand in those areas? So we can then start predicting that these items will sell more and help out the merchants and then the consumers actually to get what they need at that time. So that's where it goes. So kind of putting the data in the cloud and work with that and then have these algorithms to help out, like to understand like what are the parameters that are going to impact the demand in the future. And that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, and so that I got a better understanding of it. And so you still have individuals stocking the machines. It's just
Yeah.
what they're stocking it with. It's more of what is needed. It's not just, oh, I'm gonna sell water at the airport and that's it. It's just, okay, this is what's going to be needed at this hour.
Well, yeah, maybe an hour is maybe a too tight schedule, but like maybe in a day or two's time, so that of course it could be an hour. You can see peaks and see that okay, this is going to happen, and then you can decide what you work with that. But yeah, so basically still the merchant can decide if they want to follow kind of the algorithm opinions, but it will increase the sales. So year on year, if we compare to last year on our average cabinets that are out there are making now more than 50% more revenue each month. So of course, then it starts showing that when consumers like it, and then you have the right product assortment and even the right pricing. Because like again, dynamic pricing is something that we are used to with flight tickets or even hotels, and then they sometimes create demand, and when there's high demand, so then the merchant makes more money. So similar here, that you can have a lunch offer for somebody, and then maybe at night you might have a snack, but it may be more expensive, or you make bundle deals like McDonald's has, and then kind of sell more, and then make consumers also happy when they buy more. Yeah.
How much of this can you operate remotely in terms of like the pricing, right? Can I be in Chicago and I have one in New York that I can say, okay, let's increase the price on this one because it's summertime right now.
Yeah, you can operate all remote except of course then the items have to be placed in the actual machine, but everything else is remote and on a cloud base you can use your phone or laptop and wherever you are, and you can make also this kind of preset dynamic pricing rules, for instance, that every Friday at 3 p.m. there's a happy hour, or you can then make this bundle these for the weekends when maybe families are more there that buy two snacks and then get a beverage free or whatever you want to do. So you can do this remotely, automate them, or then based on the demand as well, that hey, that when we are running out, that so you get a push notification that these items are running out, so you can then change the price to be higher so that you get more money out of it, or save for those consumers who are really in need, so that nobody's going to buy the bargain deal, but then somebody who really wants it and needs it, so they are willing to pay a higher price at that time. Lost your voice there. Sorry.
The last time I saw a vending machine was probably in a high school somewhere, and it was empty. It wasn't even working. So there is a need that where they're phasing out. And so, but you have this great idea. You want to reinvent this. What do you see the future looks like for the smart vending machine for selfie stores?
Yeah, but I do see it like, I mean, that of course it needs to be simple for the consumer. So I think that's the first thing. So that they need to look nice and easy to use so that you like to go. You need to be able to hold the items in your hand to decide what you want, and kind of human error is gone. And it needs to be quick. And then it comes with the data and AI to help you out. So kind of have great promotions for the time being, and understand the situation. So I mean, the weather is a very clear and simple example that the right products are there when it's hot, for instance, so that you get those things that you are lacking that time. So I mean that's the future, a simple future, but I mean that will anyways change the quality of life for many in that those moments. So coming back to, again maybe to the situations that I talked about in the leadership as well, that we are working on that situation where you are at that time.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely understand that piece of it. And so for tell us about some of the dynamics in working with teams, because I imagine you have remote teams, right? Not everyone, you don't have a headquarters, everyone is only in one building kind of working. How do you navigate that space for everyone to be effective and productive?
Yeah, and thanks for asking. That's one that I'm very passionate to talk about. So yeah, we are located in 7 different countries at the moment, so it's impossible to have the office where everybody is. But I do believe in this, that we need to meet, but we will have a kind of all hands on deck meetings twice a year when the the focus is on actually being together and being a part of the team. So there I will work with the other leadership team members in a way that we will divide us sometimes in teams and then really handpick that who will work together so that people get to network within the team for with different people. So not always with the same people that you meet. And then we have activities and do things together, maybe challenges, maybe and fun stuff together so that it's more on that. But then every week we have this all employee call, which is then on Teams or like remotely on video. And we will record it so and make notes and others so that everybody can follow. But the purpose of that is then that, okay, I get the FaceTime with people and they see and hear about me as well, but they can ask questions and we are very transparent and open about things that are happening. So kind of building the trust with that and have the frequent communication. And then each team then will have one meeting a week and then of course one-on-ones with the team members. So as well as I do. So then we will have that once a week. But I think it's still crucial that what happens outside of those kind of set meetings. So I've noticed that maybe COVID taught us a lot of things that some people prefer that you call them and some people prefer that you write them an email. Sometimes it's more a WhatsApp message and maybe a meme or a GIF or something that people are different, but just to kind of find that personal connection with each another and have that kind of way of talking all the time, same tone and everything. So then people love that. So the culture of the company is super important, and I strongly believe in kind of a positive, a bit of a joking culture, but we just still have to understand that we all come from different backgrounds. So the way we talk needs to be kind of a polite and so on, but we can still joke and be open and honest and vulnerable in things, so admit mistakes. So when these kind of these parts are together, so then it kind of comes that every day you hear about something about your colleagues, you can follow the teams chats and information, but then sometimes you meet face to face and so on. So, and that they have different purposes and different ways of working at that time. So I do believe that we humans should meet face to face as often as we can, but at the same time, it's a lot of nice things happen when you can work remotely. Today, I was actually working from a summer cottage. The weather was nice, so I'm happy that I can go wherever I want to work. So it actually increases my life quality
Right.
while I work, and I can enjoy the life. And then we have some meetings that I just need to attend and so on. So I believe that the life quality is super important, the remote work, and if we can allow people to have their own lives and be flexible with the schedules that they have, it's just better for everyone.
I do agree. Yeah, I agree 100% that work-life balance has become a lot more seamless, a lot easier. That's one thing we learned from COVID, that it's possible, that it can be done when people have autonomy over their hours. Because, if they have little ones at home, then their schedule could be different from somebody who does not have little ones at home. And so providing that environment and that space, as you say, that culture, it really starts from the top down, right? It starts with you as the CEO, as the founder, to set that culture, and everyone else can follow that. So yeah, I agree. It's crucial these days. Let's talk about you. How do you get up, dress up, and show up? What's your morning routine like to help you show up for your team and your family?
Yeah, sure. I'm very kind of routine-oriented person and comes from the martial arts training. So I believe that I try to start every day the same way. So what I do is that when I get up, so I go to some toilet and then I actually smile. I look myself in the mirror and then I like ask myself that am I doing the things that I want to do in my life? And then it brings the smile that yes, I have the family, I have I love what I'm doing as my work life and everything is good. So then kind of gets to the right tone. Then I actually do some stretching, a bit kind of a martial arts stretching ways, and then I start studying at the same time. So I believe that as a leader, so it's kind of a warm up for the brain. I tend to listen to podcasts, audiobooks, and read the news, what's happening from business side and others. So just to kind of get my brain going on while I stretch. So I test my body at the same time that how am I feeling. That's very much from the martial arts background that every day you need to be prepared for a fight, even if it's not happening. But if you're not preparing it for it and you have to go to a fight, so then you are off and you will lose or something bad will happen. So the same way I try to be from the leader's perspective and learn. And I've noticed that if you learn something new in the morning, so then actually it's going to be a fun day because you want to use that. And then when you start using those tools or tactics or ideas that you get, so actually you get better by that already. And sometimes the learning can be quite quick.
Yeah.
So after that, so I spend about half an hour every morning. I'm doing that. So then I'm very then picky on my breakfast. So I make every morning porridge. So I boil it myself. Then I put there different seeds from lean seeds to chia seeds just to get protein, and then different fiber. Then I put protein coming from quark. I put some forest bilberries and cocoa nibs there to just to get antioxidants and others. So very picky on that. Every morning I eat exactly the same throughout the year. And then that gives me the good feeling that I know again. And take a coffee cup, come to my desk here at the office, and I'm ready to go. Might be that I have two daughters, so I might spend with them the morning same way, but I start my routine first, then we eat the breakfast together. I might take them to school and then come back to the office here with the coffee cup, and then I'm ready to go. But then it's kind of the mental and physical preparation is done, so then I'm good to go.
Yeah, and I you gotta stimulate the mind, right? You in the morning, you gotta be careful what you're putting in, and that primes you for the day. Listening, learning something new. I like that you stated that way, and preparing for a fight, although you're not fighting.
Yeah.
You gotta be ready, right? And so you gotta prepare the mind and body to be ready to take on the day. You don't know what the day's gonna bring your way, but if you have that mindset as you have defined for you, that I'm prepared for whatever the day throws my way. I'm prepared for whatever comes my way because you've done the due diligence of taking care of those pieces to make sure you're ready. So I love that. Prepare as if you're ready. You're going for a fight, even though if you're not fighting.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, even if you talk about leadership or business, so it's maybe not as dramatic as fighting, but in a way that's the same. You don't know what's going to happen. You need to be prepared and lead people and take like if you don't have time for yourself in the morning, so you're not prepared to actually meet people either.
Yeah.
And whatever they come up with, so you need to be prepared. And that's what I like to bring a lot from the martial arts, but that's the thing is kind of the theory and practice. So you need to have the theory that you can apply in practice, but often the practice and real world is different. It doesn't work directly like that, but still you need to train and have those tools and different settings and understand different things. And as a leader, you need to understand this in different contexts and ideas and even business marketing, sales, product development. And when that moment comes, so then you will have the tools in the background and you are able to kind of adapt to the situation. But if you lack some of those skills, you're never going to succeed. And that's very clear in fighting that if the other one is punching, you have never seen somebody punching, so there's no way you can win. I take the same mindset for leadership and running a business as well, that I just need to understand about everything. I cannot be best at everything, but I need to understand everything and learn constantly so that I'm more prepared to the situations that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, having a grasp on it. You don't have to master it all, but just the over 30,000 foot level understanding of it to actually partake and have the conversation is preparing. I agree, because then you show up, you learn how to show up in the situation, to the meetings, to the clients, to the employee. You show up your best self. I think the goal is
Yeah,
to show up the best version of you
yeah,
ultimately.
that's true. And we're nicely put because I mean that's the least and maybe the most that you can do actually. So to be the best version of yourself for the others, they will value, they will have a better day, they will succeed. And like in the beginning, I said that's the purpose of the leader is to kind of enable others to succeed, empower them to do things better. So yeah,
And then in return, it benefits you as the founder and the CEO because they
yeah.
thrive, you thrive in return. Uh, Aslak, tell us, where can we connect with you? Where can we find Selfie Store?
Yeah, so we are quite active and I'm quite active on LinkedIn. So happy to connect. I'm the only Aslak Desilva in the world. You'll find me there. Drop me a note there so that I understand why you want to connect. So then it's easier to have a conversation, not just to kind of find me and connect. The same with Selfie Store. So of course, selfishstore.com is our website if you want to find some information. And we are quite active on LinkedIn as well. So we're happy to connect and share thinking and thoughts that we have, even if there's no business in the future, but just like building a good network and sharing ideas, we value and I value that a lot.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I want you to share a quote with us, and you can probably think about it right now. But before we get to that, I want to know the structure of Selfie Store. It's B2B, and I imagine they're subscribing to the software to use the cloud to get all the data AI that is being collected. Correct? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so two parts. So there's the hardware and then the software connection, and then of course it needs a connection. We provide this 4G connection, or it can be Wi-Fi, and then it takes to the cloud, which is then kind of the software part of it. So yeah, and that's what we do is then of course develop both sides. So whatever we do with the software, so all our customers get those kind of upgrades and all that, so that they have the up-to-date model to use.
Very nice. Same thing with the hardware. What's the life shelf? Are these lasting 5, 10 years?
Yeah, well, yeah, we are still quite young. So in 21 we were found. So yeah, now we have the third model of these self-restores available, and yeah, they haven't been worn out. So hopefully at least 10 years there, but time will tell. But of course, technology is developing quickly. So if sometimes you need just to upgrade the hardware as well to get the best benefits. So maybe more depending on that than actually the physical endurance of the hardware.
Yeah. Okay. Share one of your favorite quotes, be it from martial art, business, and leadership. Leave us with some gem.
Yeah, one that I love is that I don't know exactly wording, but it's more goes something like that. Uh, the luck is when preparation meets the opportunity. So that as long as you're just kind of working for it and you're prepared, so then luck starts to happen to you.
And I know you believe that 100%, as you stated earlier today about being prepared for a fight, even if you're not getting one.
Yeah.
It's been such a pleasure, as like having you on the show. Thank you for sharing and bringing Selfie Store to our audience.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Dr. Looney.
Been a true pleasure. Perfect. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please comment and tell us what was your favorite part, your favorite habit that you are going to try out for yourself today. Comment below. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, I will see you at the top of your best morning routine ever. Stay blessed.